they want to validate it, that's on them to do. And you'll give them references. Just make sure you have those references ready. And then you have actions. Here's what I did. And you name 4 or 5 different actions on assessments. You be careful about you want to be careful about what you put on your resume, right? You don't want to be so specific that you're telling what obviously. Well, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence or anything, but obviously certain things you don't want to put on there about the actual vulnerabilities for certain organizations and things like that. All you're trying to do is is all you're trying to do is demonstrate your skills, and do that as in 1 or 2 sentences. You don't have to give them a paragraph. Just explain. And if you want examples of this, a great trick that I use is I go to LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn and see the top person on LinkedIn. Go to LinkedIn, type in security control assessor, risk assessments, risk assessor. Type that into LinkedIn. Find the top person who's listed as the top risk assessor. Look at their resume. Some people, they hide their resume and only give it to employers, but some, you'd be surprised, have their entire, I do, you have their entire resume online, everything they've done online. Look through how they worded the actions that they took of the assessments, and then the impact. Impact is numbers. All right. Just remember that. Action is what you did. Impact is how many systems did you do? What was the result of the assessment? Did that assessment go towards an IG? That's the kind of stuff that you do. But I can even show you exactly. Here's what I do. I'm going to show you what I do. So I do this. I'll go to, wait, so hold on a second. I got this new system here. I'm trying to, okay, well, I guess it's not going to work. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll go to LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com. If I'm still logged in. Okay. Here's LinkedIn. And then I'll go to, I'll type in risk assessor. Now there's groups, there's jobs. You don't want jobs. You don't want groups. You want people. So let's try to find people here. So let's just do a search, and you want to go to people right here. And then watch these are the top dudes. These are the alphas in this path. These people, there's a reason why they're number 1 on LinkedIn. So you want to go down the list. This dude's a professional assessor. Data privacy. This is third-party risk. Look at this. Is this you? Third-party risk assessor. So you go through their resume and just look at their experience. I'm not telling you to copy this word for word. I'm saying look at how that they're wording it. Performed initial risk assessment, identify, calcified. That's not a good word. Inherited risk, prioritize risk management to meet business needs. Okay, there you go. So this person is a risk assessor, and you can get the actions. This is great stuff for actions. I'm not seeing a lot of impact here. I could improve this one. I would put the actual impact of what they did. You wouldn't say just reviewed vendor SOC 2 type 2 report. You'd say not only did you review the vendor, but the result was that they attained a SOC 2 certification in less than a year or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you want to put the impact of what you did so that the person who's reading it knows that you're the real deal. Like, not only did you do this, but the result was X. And of course you can have some that just have the actions in there. That's how you do it. Okay, let me see. Lori says, thank you, Bruce. You're welcome. SS says, the company that you work for should be tracking this data and should be able to provide you with that number or data. Okay, let me see. I must have missed the last part of that. Great advice. Love the impact statements. Yeah, man, I learned that in the military. First time I heard that was in the military. And wow, I owe the military a lot for all the life they sucked out of me, for all the disastrous things I had to go through with that organization. I learned quite a bit from the military. So I owe a lot to the U.S. military. Let me see. So that's that. Yeah, that's how I would do it. That it's worked for me. Just being straight up with the employers, putting that stuff on your resume. I would not. The reason why I don't like there's a debate on. I see a lot of people in my profession saying, "Oh, why don't you lie on your resume? They don't care about you. You should lie." The reason why I don't lie on the resume is because they're gonna ask you. Like if I would have put a bunch of stuff on cloud, they wouldn't have shut up by asking me about cloud stuff. If I said, "Oh yeah, I'm a cloud expert," um, they're gonna somebody's gonna see that on your resume and say, "Wow, this guy's perfect." You get the interview, and then they're gonna ask you 100 questions about cloud. You might knock it out of the park. Maybe you studied, maybe you read a bunch of books, you know it off the top of your head. But then they're gonna call your references. Then they're gonna say, "Hey, I'm calling from Ring LLC, and I'm calling on behalf of Bruce, and I'm wondering, like, how much stuff did he do with cloud? Like, was he the lead? He says on his resume. He says he was the lead cloud guy. He was the lead cloud architect. Is that true, or so that's not true? Okay, so was he there for 10 years? It says on his resume he was there for 10 plus years, and oh, he was there for only 3 years. Now you're a liar. You know what I mean? So it's better just be upfront with them, in my opinion. If you can't talk about what's on your resume in cyber, good luck. Yeah, you got to be able to. That's a great point, SS. Anything you put on your resume, be ready to back it up. All the actions, all the impact, be ready to back up what's on your resume. Be ready, have receipts. That on the interview, that's when you really want to sell it, because once you start talking, they should know, because all you're doing is reciting the things that you have done. That's all you're doing, right? Your knowledge, it's your time to shine with your knowledge, because you're going to be able to display your level of knowledge to these guys. And if it's coming directly from your experience, they're going to feel that straight through the Zoom call. And I'm telling you, like, it wins every time. There was the last job I had. My boss, once I got hired, he says, we had 14 interviews and you beat all 14 people. I wasn't even surprised. I wasn't shocked or surprised. I'm like, yep. It's not cockiness. I just know what I'm talking about. I'm just going straight off my resume. I'm not sugarcoating. If I don't know something, like I told you, I had an interview with a dude who asked me 10 minutes of cloud questions. 10 minutes of deep cloud, and I didn't know. And I said, no, sir, I don't, I'm not sure about that. I just kept saying, I'm not, I didn't never try to BS him on an interview. Don't do it. If you don't know something, just say you don't know, right? Just say you don't know. And then what you could say is, I don't know, but that's something I would like to find out. I'm very interested. And that's one of the things I said is I'm actually very interested in cloud. I would like to go a little bit deeper into it. We did have some cloud systems that are my previous organization. I did get those certified, but the technical aspects, I'm very weak on cloud. I've never set up a cloud system. I've never configured a cloud system. I've only got them configured, and I have looked at the results of it as far as the scans and everything, but I'm not a cloud expert, so, and I'm not pretending to be. I was flat out told, and I got to the second interview, the third interview with those guys, and they're the ones who offered me the job. I was surprised. I'm like, really? I was shocked. I mean, I bombed that interview. I don't know how the hell. I was like, I don't know how. I had like 3 interviews. I had a screener interview with their technical recruiter, and then I had a very technical, super sharp director. That's very uncommon for a director to be as technically smart as this guy was. He interviewed me, and he was asking me a bunch of cloud questions, and I bombed him. I was like, man, I'm not sure, sir. I'm not sure. I wouldn't disrespect him like that. No, sir, I'm not sure about the cloud technical side of cloud, but I have gotten a few of them certified. That's my expertise, really. But he kept asking me more and more cloud questions. I'm like, damn. So I didn't try to BS him or anything. I was just like, nah, sir, I'm not sure about that one, but I would like to learn more about cloud stuff. I'm hoping that if I get this position, then I'll go deeper into cloud stuff. And I'm dead serious about that, because what a wake up call that was. Okay, let me see. SS says, it's your selling point. And yes, I hire people all the time and I can smell BS from a mile away. You're 100% right. Yeah, I mean, don't BS. Do not BS. That's the worst thing you can do because nobody wants that kind of guy on their team in IT. It's better that you say, it's better to get a blank sheet of paper and teach that person from scratch than to have a person who thinks they know everything and is lying to everybody. It really displays a lot about that person's character, and it's hard to deal with people like that. Every team has one, unfortunately, where you have a person who there's something flawed about them, and it's better to have a person who's willing to learn, who doesn't know anything, but they're willing to learn and excited about learning, and a hard worker than it is to have somebody who try to BS everybody and try to finagle themselves out of work and wants to pawn everything. They want to collect the check, but they want to give you all the work. They don't want to do anything. They want to push all that work on you. Man, it sucks working with people like that. It's absolutely sucks working with, and I've had to do it before, and it's so bad. It just makes your life harder. Everybody's life's harder with people like that. You don't want, I know when I've done interviews with people, I don't want to work with nobody like that. I'd rather have a person who just admits they didn't know it, but they're excited about learning it. I'm more excited about that person who wants to learn it. Let me see. I've got a couple other people here saying, most are impressed with someone who has the want to continue to learn. Exactly. And a couple jobs I've gotten was because of that. I remember when I first got out of the military, Northrop Grumman was so impressed with my resume that they flew me out to another state and did an interview. They flew me, gave me lunch, everything, to another state, and I did an interview, and I sat with I'd already done like 2 interviews on the phone. I'd done like a screening interview, and then I'd done an interview with the manager, and they were so blown away that they flew me to Colorado, from California to Colorado, to do this interview. And I sat down with a who's going to be my manager, the direct manager, supervisor guy, and then my coworker who's going to be my future coworker. And the manager was asking me a lot of like personal questions to see what kind of character I had and things like that. And I didn't have any problem with that. But my coworker, this dude's really smart. Me and him are friends to this day. He became my mentor. This dude grilled me. Like, he was asking me all kinds of technical questions, and I knew some of them, but I didn't have a lot of experience at the time with networking. They wanted me to know networking. They wanted me to know SATCOM stuff, which I had no experience, and electrical engineering, which I was like, what the I've never done. I was a computer operator. Like, I knew how to fix Microsoft products, and Cisco. Like, that was my skill set at the time. This dude asked me a ton of questions I didn't know. I knew some of them, but I didn't BS him. Then he took me in their lab and started asking me to do Cisco commands. He was like, okay, how would I back up the Cisco system? He was smiling like, how would I back up the system? Here you go. Here. Gave me the console, and I was like, config T. I don't remember what the commands are. I don't even run, show run. Like, he was impressed that I actually knew that much, because I guess some other people came in, didn't know, like, couldn't do that stuff. And I was like, yeah, I know this stuff. But then I said, well, here's how you would back it up. You CP space, whatever I don't remember the command, but I was doing it, and then if I didn't know something, he says, okay, well, he started leveling up. Okay, well, how do you do this? And then I was like, well, I don't know how to do that, man. It's like, I don't know. And I said, well, I'd love to know. And he would teach me. He was like, okay, here's how you do it. Boom. And he was more impressed that I was eager to learn. He was super excited to teach me. And he taught me all kinds of stuff, man. I learned firewall stuff from this guy. I learned how to do TAC lanes. I learned how to do SATCOM. I learned a little bit of electrical engineering, like soldering stuff. I learned all kinds of stuff from this dude. This dude became my mentor. His troubleshooting ability was ridiculous, off the charts. But I learned so much from this guy. But this SS is right. Like, they'll be impressed if you have a willingness to learn. If you are excited about learning this, that right there is huge. If you are excited to actually learn this because they want to teach, we need people like you if you're excited to learn this, because not a lot of people have the willpower to do this. Not a lot of people want to do it, and even less people are excited to do it. So that is a win in and of itself. SS says, Bruce, just wanted to give you flowers, bro. You are going above and beyond for cyber community. You are awesome. Hey, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate those words. I really, really appreciate that. This has been as much of a blessing for me as it is for you guys to be able to help to be a part of this community where I'm learning just as much as the next person, learning a lot about this craft and going deeper on this stuff. So that's it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for participating. Thanks for watching. I appreciate everybody. I'm going to try to do another one of these tomorrow, Saturday, 1:00 Mountain Standard Time. That's when I do these lives typically. So that's when we're going to do this. We're going to do it on Facebook, on TikTok, on everywhere that you see ConvoCourses. See you guys tomorrow and have a great day. Night.